we navigated those tech issues that came to the forefront just 2 minutes before we were supposed to launch again. Everything, of course, was up and running. And then when we're getting ready to let folks in, the universe said, oh no, hold up, wait a minute. So this is session 3 for us. And those of you who have been continuing this journey since 8 a.m., welcome back. And those of you who are just popping on for the first time, welcome. We are glad you are here with us. This is going to be a great session with many opportunities to reflect on self, center on self, think of where you've been, where you are, and where you would like to go. And also really think of the application of networking within your agency and, of course, across agencies. So the norms for the session, again, those of you who have been here since the start, this will be a revisit. And those of you who are joining us, this may be the first time you're hearing some of these, and I will jump in. So be humble and willing to grapple with challenging ideas. Find your learning edge and push it. One of my former mentors used to say, discomfort is comfort growing. So when you feel uncomfortable, that's your opportunity for growth. Recognize how your own social positionality, example, race, class, gender, sexuality, ability, informs your perspectives and reactions. And there's going to be an opportunity within our session to do that. Again, just really examining our frame of reference and how that was developed and continues to develop over time. Accept that discomfort is necessary for growth. So again, discomfort is comfort growing. And then use defensive reactions as an entry point to build a deeper understanding. A lot of times when we feel defensive, maybe shame and fear are coming up for ourselves and we're wanting to armor up and protect ourselves. But just know that this is a safe space. This is a learning environment. This is an opportunity for us to lean in. We have been gifted with this time. And so again, if you start to feel those defensive reactions coming up, whether it's throughout the presentation or in your smaller groups, just know that you are safe and you can say, I am safe. Speak from your own experience without generalizing, stay engaged and hold space for others, and be willing to extend grace to others and ourselves as we speak and process out loud. And if you could drop in the chat which one you want to focus on this session, to just bring it to the surface, bring it to light, help you stay centered as we are after lunch. Myself, I am going to continue to stay engaged and hold space as I listen to responses and listen to my colleagues as we go through this session. So just drop that in the chat. I'm seeing find my learning edge and push it, stay engaged and hold space. Thank you. Speak from your own experience without generalizing. Thank you, Liz. And again, if you just take note for this on yourself on a scratch sheet of paper, or just mentally, that is awesome and okay. Humble and be willing, be humble. All right, keep those rolling in, accept that discomfort is necessary for growth, absolutely. Thank you for those who have shared and those who have noted for themselves. All right, so one more opportunity for engagement in the chat. Drop your name, your pronouns, your position and agency. And I apologize, I started this so energized. I am Katrina Tuggle, and we are going to be doing introductions in one moment. But please just drop your name, pronouns, your position, and agency. Welcome those of you who are joining us. And I apologize, the last one too, you're probably wondering what these animal pictures are with their faces. I forgot to add number 4. Please drop how you're feeling based upon the animal faces and pictures you see. I am feeling like number 6, the cat. I'm over here with my tech, focused and trying to minimize mistakes. So I'm feeling like number 6, that kitty cat over there.
I'm very glad to see some familiar names and faces that have stuck with us through all the sessions. Welcome, welcome.
Curious pup, number 4, the little hamster. Number 4, number 2, but with a smile. Number 3, number 6, number 3, number 6. All right. Well, thank you, each of you, for engaging in our energizer and our icebreaker. Feel free to take any of these back to your teams. And then I am going to transition it to our introductions. I apologize we didn't start with this. My name is Katrina Tuggle again. I'm a pro-equity consultant. I use she, her pronouns. A fun fact about me is I absolutely love the Goodwill. I love it so much that I know all their special sales days. So Friday, 25% off, Sunday, 10% off with students. I bring my children. I just find so many treasures and I'm obsessed. And I will pass it to Rueben.
Hello, folks. My name is Rueben Otero. The pronouns are they, them, ma'am. I am also a pro-equity consultant along with Katrina. I'm very happy to be here today. Um, Fun fact about me is I sew my own clothes, and you will be my favorite if you see me in public and ask me if I sewed something. You'll be my absolute favorite. Go ahead, B.
Hey y'all, B Hill, pro equity consultant manager. Our pronouns are they, them. So fun fact about me. So I'll give you 2. I'm a classic car enthusiast and also actually a professional DJ. And so my favorite genre is soul, funk, classic hip hop and R&B. So we're gonna go through the 70s, 80s, and 90s with me. If you have a DJ profound one experience, that's what you're gonna experience with me. So that's fun fact. Grateful to be here in space with each and every one of you. So thank you.
And then our team has 3 additional team members who are presenting in person. We have Catherine Feltz. She is right below B's picture. And then to the right of Catherine is Kalima. And then below Kalima is Rueben, of course. And then to the left of Rueben is Jasmine. It's a phenomenal team with amazing strengths and giftings and many frames of reference that are coming together to support the Office of Equity as we move to support each of you. By the end of the year, we are hopeful to have up to 35 staff members at the Office of Equity. It's come a long way, and so we are very grateful and excited. And again, just wanting to highlight again that we're here to support, build relationships, lean in, and walk alongside you as we really make the changes that will support community. And state agencies. I always want to highlight that too. This work is for communities and for agencies. And I will turn it over.
Yeah, I'll jump in, Katrina. So giving an overview, providing the framing of our session today, we've done the welcome norms, our icebreaker. You've heard about us as pro-equity and anti-racist consultants and the team that we have. We'll give a workshop 1 and 2 recap. And in this session, it's about networking, relational partnership, and building that relational partnership. So networking instructions, and then we'll have a networking session, and then we'll have a debrief. We'll ask you some questions about your experience in networking, and then we'll wrap it up and provide some next steps.
All right. So we'll move on to our recap now. If you can please advance the slide. Great. So we'll just give a nice quick recap. Reminder that all these sessions are being recorded. So if you want to go back and see what we did in those previous sessions, feel free. We shared in the first session just some strategies for how to bring this pair work really to life. And we want to start with thinking of ourselves as leaders, even if we don't occupy traditional leadership roles. You know, we might be in a position where we're not supervising people, but that doesn't mean that we're not leading at our job. You know, in order for this work to work, we need people who are all engaged in it, people at all levels. You know, just like with union work, when we unite together with a common goal, we are much more powerful and our message is much stronger. So even if you're not in a leadership role at your work, you are a leader. Next slide. And then we talk about too, with power, privilege, and resources comes great responsibility. And this is about taking ownership, you know, looking at what are your intersections? What identities and roles are you embodying that inform how you see the world? And what responsibilities do you have when you are in possession of those majority identities, identities that have a lot of power in our society? Next slide. And then we want to find our purpose, discover what helps us stay aware of our ownership, what helps us to realize that no matter where we are, no matter what our intersections are, that we have a stake in this as well, that we as Washingtonians have a stake in this, we as state employees have a stake in this. And what is that driving force behind it? Next slide. And then step 4, we talked about thinking about societal illnesses that can block our path to internal change, or said another way, the life cycle of biases and internalized oppression. We all have biases. Biases are unavoidable. They are part of how we grew up, how we interact with culture. And they're not inherently a bad thing. You know, I'm biased in all sorts of positive ways, and I'm biased in negative ways too. And it's just really important that we are looking at those things and being objective about them. Being objective and saying, okay, wow, I'm having a thought or a feeling come up when I'm interacting with something. What is that thought or feeling? What is that thought or feeling telling me? What is it being informed by? Is it informed by a negative stereotype? Is that something that I need to change? And just really taking the time to do that self-audit. Next slide. And then step 5, we really want to encourage us to focus, commit, and build at least one of these things every day. They might be something that we're already expert in, a skill, habit, or just self-introspection. You know, if changing one thing might not seem like much, but if we're thinking about a whole year, if I change one thing a day, or I commit to building one thing a day, then by the end of the year, I've changed 365 things. And wouldn't that be so powerful if we were focusing those to combat racism in our state? Next one, please. And then step 6, we are gonna have some stumbling points. So we need to give ourselves permission to fumble and practice. Everyone makes mistakes. A mistake does not define us unless we stick with that mistake, unless we wallow in it. Then it is going to define us. It's going to be really impactful. But if we give ourselves the opportunity to grow, the opportunity to make mistakes, the opportunity to be less than perfect, and we commit to doing better, we're going to see some real big change for ourselves. Next slide. And so then, in addition to those steps for engaging in peer work, we also talked about the peer ecosystem. We want to create a whole, like our outside world is an ecosystem. It's part of, it has interdependent parts. We want to bring that same interconnectedness and understanding to pro-equity, anti-racism work. That begins with our peer values. We have peer service lines that are informed by the values. Then we have determinants of equity, so things that through investments in pro-equity, anti-racism service lines we see. And then what we're really working towards is those peer ecosystem outcomes, that all people in Washington flourish and achieve their full potential, embody pro-equity and anti-racism values, enjoy peace, prosperity, and possibility now and for generations to come. Next slide. So then, we also included a brief about the peer ecosystem strategies for you and your agency. And I know that we're going quickly here, but I want to remind folks that this is all a part of the PEAR Plan Playbook. So you can go ahead and use Google to go ahead and find that. It is all available online for you to look at in depth, especially if your agency hasn't already put it in front of you. It's great to just take a few moments and look through it. And now after our little recap, next slide, please. We wanted to take you through an activity that we hadn't gotten to for the other ones, but it was definitely a part of our first session's plan, and that is the Wheel of Power and Privilege. So on this Wheel of Power and Privilege, we're going to give ourselves a few moments to look at it. But as you're reading it and looking at it, you'll notice that there are different categories on this rainbow here. There's, gender, formal education, sexuality, neurodiversity, wealth, all listed around here. And so we're just going to do a little self-reflection activity and think about the ways that our identities, the way that we exist in the world, has power and privilege. When we're looking at the wheel, the identities that are inside are those, and we're not saying these are right or true and that they should be this way, but these are things that our current society and culture in Washington State and America more often than not values very highly. So we would like just a few moments for you can take a screenshot of it, you can just jot it down on a piece of paper, but write down the different identity traits that make up your intersectional identity. And then just go through the wheel and identify the power, privileges, and resources you have. Ask yourself what your life has looked like. And then we're gonna do a small share out after we've given some time for that, just about how can you leverage the power, privileges, and resources you have, or how can you expand your perspective? So we'll go ahead. This is not meant to be an in-depth activity. We will be uploading these all to Cvent afterwards. So there will be an opportunity to look at this more closely, individually. But for right now, let's just take 5 minutes to fill out as much of the wheel as we feel we can. And then at 1:30, we'll say 1:39 to give myself a little bit extra time. 1:39, we'll come back and we'll ask for some brave share outs of number 3. All right, folks. So after having looked at the Wheel of Power and Privilege, I'm looking for some brave sharing out about how can you leverage the power, privileges, and resources you have, or expand your perspective. I'll go ahead and share first that looking at this, there are ways for myself that I am closer to the middle and further out. And I think when I look at the further out identities, I think to myself, how can I use the identities that I have to make more space for those other identities? Right now, looking at the power and privilege wheel, there's not much space in the middle. It's cramped. There's only so much space when you get there. So how can I achieve more with what I have for other folks? And thank you, Nicole. It's totally appropriate to share in the chat if you want to. If you have something you want to raise that hand, you can go ahead. We have a few moments to chat about this. Yeah, I love Nicole's in there talking about using their English-speaking privilege and ability to research, to learn, and find new ways to share that information. I think that's so important. How are we using our privilege identities to provide for others or help others? Exactly.
In my position, I can ask hard questions of people in leadership positions where I work to take more steps to increase the power and privilege of the more historically marginalized folks that with whom I work.
Thank you, Jenny. That's excellent. That's an excellent example. I love that you gave us an example from our workplace, going back to what we talked about earlier about being a leader wherever we are. Our privilege identities, our marginal, can really help to advocate. Thank you. We have time for one or two more share outs. Great. I love what Dina shared in the chat, that they've experienced so much gratitude for this community, for folks who are working hard to help make Washington become a true belonging state. At least I added the belonging state, Dina. Please correct me if that wasn't your intention. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go to the next slide, and we're going to watch a video. This video is called the Unequal Opportunity Race. And I want folks to know before going to the video that some of this might be impactful for you. It's a pretty honest video about the way things are going on. And I want us to think about it in connection with, this workshop today is being in community with our peers. We can healthfully be in community with each other when we are honest about where we're starting and where we're going. And so I want us to think about that. How does this help us have a community-minded mindset for us going forward? So we're going to watch the video. Please, if you need to step away or turn it off, the video is a few minutes long. I think it's 5. So if you want to pop back in 5 minutes, that's great. And we can go ahead and hit play.
Rueben, could I add one note before we start the video?
Yes, please.
And so as you're watching this, again, thinking back to our norms of really moving forward when there may be discomfort, and also acknowledging that your frame of reference and really centering it on that wheel of where you may have limitations in regards to knowledge or exposure of what this video discusses. And so again, if you feel defensiveness or shame or fear or uncomfortability start to steam up for yourself, remind yourself to lean in. And also, just to reiterate what Rueben shared, is that if you are unable to watch this, that's okay, and to step away. But I really just wanted to highlight that piece of really leaning forward and thinking of that wheel and maybe where some of your limitations and some of this may be new for you, and just to continue to stay present and having that open hand and open heart for learning. Were you able to hear it, Rueben or B, as it was playing?
No, I think there was a problem.
Oh, I know it. I think it's because I muted myself. Let me try that one more time. Just give me a thumbs up if you hear it.
No, we're not able to hear it. Great. And Antonio reminded us about captions, if you can click those on as well. We can hear it now. Oh, yep, sorry, there's something going on where it's been muted.
We're going to try one more time, Rueben. So
there we go. And oh, it was on and then it turned off. Yeah. You know what? It's not working out right now. Unfortunately, I think we'll just have to drop the link for folks and they can view it on their own time. I'm really sad we have to miss out on that.
you want me to try going to YouTube real quick to do it? Sorry, it's really glitching. Thank you all.
Yeah. I think we've used more time than I would like on it, so we can go ahead and pass on it. It's a really great video. If you all caught the title, The Unequal Opportunity Race, I would encourage you to go ahead and look that up. We're going to go ahead and take a small break here. I know we want to preserve our networking opportunity for you. So let's see, it's 1:47 right now. How about we go ahead and take an 8-minute break and come back at 1:55 and then we'll get rolling. All right. So coming back from our short little break, thought some folks were already looking at the link I dropped in the chat. So if we can advance the slide. No, yeah, great. So we are going to do some networking, some Zoom networking, some speed networking. We're going to do 5 rounds of networking. I think I'd really like us to have some time at the end for a share out. So if we could do 5 rounds of 4-minute networking, that would be great. I hope that's not an undue burden for our folks handling the rooms. We're going to do random rooms each time. There's some questions in the chat. And we're just encouraging us to grow our community. You know, somebody last session, I can't remember who it was, asked a really great question of like, how do I find these people? This is our opportunity to find these people, our pair people, folks to talk about this with. So I went ahead and shared a list of questions that you might use to get the conversation started. Please go ahead and share with each other your name, your pronouns, and then have some conversation on those questions. We'll be looking afterwards for some sharing out for folks who want to share with what they discussed, anything they want to takeaways afterwards. So any questions about what we're going to be doing right now? Excellent. The little bug in my ear says that we have all the rooms set up. We'll go ahead and assign folks random rooms. We'll do 4 minutes. There should be a little timer up there to let you know that the time is going out, so you can have even opportunities to speak. And we'll go ahead and open up the rooms. Ariel Matthews and Michelle Cahan, I will send it to you in just a moment.
All right, thank you. It looks like everyone is back, and B will be taking this last portion. Again, if you have any feedback, thank you for what has been dropped in, and we apologize if any of the conditions were not ideal, and we are open to making the improvements as we continue to refine this process. Take it away, B.
Thank you, Katrina. And yes, y'all, we see your feedback, and thank you for your feedback. We definitely are, looking at it and seeing how we can make transitions and course correct. And so we'll make adjustments as well. So networking debrief. So this is a space where we want to allow you in your networking time to share takeaways, provide some share outs for your time with each other. You can do that in the chat, and we're going to invite some brave folks to just come on mic and just talk to us as well, and just share out your experience. If you've had experiences of common themes and shared purpose, experiences and thoughts, or how you can support each other, or what support you need in networking, and just kind of talking through that. Share that as well. Or you can share your reflection on the importance of networking or building relationships and being relational. So, it's more of a broad category of like processing through what you have experienced in networking. And we want to invite you to do that. So I will say you can do it in chat. Also, come on mic and do that. So we're going to invite the first brave soul to come on mic to do that. And then we can go by raising hands, and then we can call on folks to do that as well. And me and my esteemed colleagues will call you in the space and time that we have. So let's take it away for share outs.
I'd love to get us started with some share outs from the chat. Jules was very kind and shared that there are some very cool initiatives happening across the state. It's hopeful to hear. Thank you all for your shares. Really glad that there was some hope being able to being provided today. I think we all could use a little bit more of that.
Thank you, Rueben. And this is an opportunity. This is relational partnership. This is how we are being relational in action, because when we are building a PEAR ecosystem, it does not come without being relational. So we just continue to invite you to just talk about your experience. What you have to share is valuable. So don't think it has to be in this box or just in this parameter of what you need to share. Just share how you feel of this experience in what you have experienced.
Hi, everyone. Can I share? Yeah. Hi, everyone. My name is Claudine. And so I think one of the questions that is really important is looking at how PEAR adapts to an ecosystem, because every single one of our agencies has their own unique ecosystems and micro ecosystems. And oftentimes when we come to collaborate, the relational part needs to come first, and oftentimes the technical aspects come to play when they really should be almost set aside a little bit so we can build and get to know each other, establish trust. In that same context too, there was a question around, being authentic or being your authentic self, or it implicated that. And I always like people to be mindful, in my opinion, and again, it's opinion, that when we ask people to be their authentic selves, think about who in the room has been historically minoritized and marginalized, excluded, and made to be invisible, because we ask persons who are more at risk often to come as their authentic selves, and we ask them for a lot of information when dominant culture, those with positionality, power, institutional gravitas, don't show up in that same manner. So, always making sure you're aware of that power dynamic, and those who have that greater power dynamic leverage share their experiences before they ask a historically minoritized person to show up as their authentic self. I'll show up as my best professional authentic self.
Thank you so much for that, Claudine. I think when you say that too, just really hammers home the point of relational partnership. B mentioned it, and then you just had that very lovely example. It was just so perfect. And then to your second example, I wanted to offer for folks too that for some people, being their authentic self isn't a choice. Yes, for some folks, just walking into the room, like how they are, how they're being seen, is also, it's not something that is able to be hidden, and just being mindful of that too. And thank you so much. That was really beautifully said, Claudine.
Yes, we see things coming in the chat. We're just still inviting folks to come on mic just to share experiences of the session and also what's coming to mind for you. So we're going to give space for that.
I just want to say how grateful I am and to be involved in this, and it's giving me thoughts about how I want to get involved. It's been great to connect with people who have similar values and ideas that I have in unity, and that the only way we're going to move forward is by being together, working together. And this is a great opportunity to talk about building relationships. And so I'm thankful and grateful for everybody here.
Thank you, Jen. The work of anti-racism, the work of being pro-equity centered, we have to change our mindset. And some folks are already there, right? But if you're not, you have to change your mindset. It's not in addition to what we have to do as state employees. It is what we do. We are anti-racist. We are pro-equity centered. So all that we do is centered in anti-racism and pro-equity. So thank you, Jen, for like sharing your thoughts on we are collaborative, we are in partnership, we build coalitions to do this work. So I thank you so very much for sharing that space. I feel we have space for one more share out, and then I'll kick it off to Rueben to kind of wrap us up and close us out for this session. So if there's anyone who wants to come on mic in these next few minutes, we'll give a little space for that. If not, we'll wrap this session up.
Thanks for allowing me to sit in from Colorado. It sounds like you guys have a great, very good set of programs for your entire state.
Rueben, should I pass it off to you?
You can. I gladly take the baton. Thank you all so much. Again, just want to give some love and gratitude for our ASL interpreter, Antonio. Thank you so much. If we could please have some reactions and some love for that. The interpreters have been fantastic today. And thank you all for sharing. I dropped another link in the chat. If you have any burning questions, and please don't hesitate to reach out. You can do so anonymously, or you can put your email there and we'll follow up with you. Would love to hear from folks. If you want to keep this conversation going, you can meet us in our 4th session happening at 3 o'clock, and we're looking forward to our final session of the day. It's been wonderful with y'all. Y'all have a good rest and see you soon.